Okay, so when you find the zeros, you can use synthetic division, then you can factor, or you can use the quadratic formula if you don't remember how to factor. Remember, b would be in front of the x, a is in front of the x squared, and c would be your constant. You would just substitute in. Okay, but we're going to start off using synthetic division. So we need our last over our first. Our factors of our last term is positive -1. Factors of our first term is positive -1, positive -4, positive -2. So our possible zeros for this thing would be positive -1, 1 over 1 is 1, positive -1 over 4, positive -1 over 2. And we're always going to start with a lot of times you start with your whole numbers because you really don't want to deal with fractions. So let's start with positive 1 to see if it's a 0. Remember, if it's a 0, our remainder is going to be 0. Okay, so we're using synthetic division. So I have 4, have my placeholder 0. I have -3 and -1. So I'm going to bring down my 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 0 and 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. -3 and 4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. -1 and 1 is 0. It's not always going to work out the first time. So if I would have put 1 in and my remainder would not have been 0, I could have put in -1 next to try. Then I would move down my list. Then I would have to use -1/4 or +1/4. Okay, but now I have 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. So I'm going to factor this. So 4 times 1 is 4. So factors of 4 that add to give me 4 in the middle. And that's 2 and 2. So when I factor this, I'm going to use grouping. If you know how to factor a different way, that's fine, and I know how to factor a different way, but I'm just going to use grouping because it works every time. So I have 4x squared, or you can use your quadratic formula. I have 4x squared plus 2x from here, plus the other 2x from here, and then plus 1. So I took this and broke it down into this. Then I'm going to group. Okay, my GCF here is 2x. That's going to leave me with 2x plus 1 inside that parentheses. My GCF here is +1. That's going to leave me with 2x plus 1 inside the parentheses. So this is one of my factors. So I'm going to set it equal to 0. What's left on the outside is my other factor. I'm going to set it equal to 0 and solve. So I would get x is -1/2. X is -1/2, and then my other 0 was +1. So those are my zeros. Okay, so another example. Okay, so let's see what happens when we plug it in and it doesn't come out. Okay, so let's list our possible zeros, and I'm going to list them up here for more room. So factors of 3 over 3, last over first. So that's +1, +3, over +1, +3. Okay, so let's try a +1. Okay, so I have 3, 9, 1, and 3. Bring that down. 1 times 3 is 3. That's 12. 1 times 12 is 12. We can already see this is not going to work. That's 13. 1 times 13, 16. So that one doesn't work. We can scratch that off our list. Sorry, I forgot to list them. I just went straight to doing it. Those would be our possible zeros. And we know that +1 don't work. Okay, so I'm going to try, -3. Okay, so 3, 9, 1, 3, -3, I mean +3, Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. That's 0. That's 0. Bring down my 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So this one does work. Okay, so then I'm going to factor. So I got 3x squared plus 1 equals 0. This time, I don't even have to factor anything. I just have to bring that 1 to the other side. So that's negative 1 divided by 3. So now I have x squared equals negative 1/3. Square root cancels out a square. So I have x equals, anytime you get the square root of a negative, remember you put an I. So, and when you take the square root of something, you have a positive and negative solution or value for that. So positive, negative I, 1 square root of 3 is 1x, or two of my x's, and then x equals negative 3 was my other one. Okay, so my possible zeros here, 4 and 2, so that's positive negative 1, positive negative 4, positive negative 2 over positive negative 1, positive negative 2. So I would have positive negative 1, positive negative 1 over 2, positive negative 4, positive negative 4 over 2 would simplify to 2. 2 over 1 simplifies to 2, and 2 over 2 simplifies to 1. Okay, so sometimes you gotta just start plugging in numbers. So let's try negative 1. So 2, 5, negative 11, and 4. Bring down the 2, that's negative 2, that's 3, negative 3, negative 14, 14, 18. So that one doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to try positive 1, 2, 5, negative 11, 4. Bring down my 2. 1 times 2 is 2. That's 7. 1 times 7 is 7. That's negative 4. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And that's 0. So that one does work. So I have 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. Okay, so you can use your quadratic formula at this point, or you can factor. I'm going to factor. So I'm looking for factors of negative 8. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. That had to give me 7, and that would be positive 8, negative 1. So I have 2x squared plus 8x minus 1x minus 4. Group those together. Okay, so when I group those together, take out my GCF. So take out a 2x here, that leaves me with x plus 4. Take out a negative 1, that leaves me with x plus 4. These match like they're supposed to. So I have x plus 4 equals 0. And I have 2x minus 1 equals 0. So this is negative 4. This is positive 1/2. And my other one was 1. So these are my zeros.